Welcome back, it's Smashboss here, and today I've got more weird glitches and mechanics to showcase. The first one is yet again something that doesn't make sense whatsoever, and I only figured this out because I was playing Endless Mario Challenge, and in one level the clear condition was to collect all coins that are in the level. However, I ended up having more coins than the level actually pretended to have, so I immediately knew something was wrong, and I actually went back in the level and figured out that there is a very weird coin generator glitch. So right here I also have a level where the clear condition is to collect all coins, and there's one here and one in the subworld. That doesn't really matter, it's just so to have 2 coins. And well, nothing seemed strange so far. However, now if I move this setup right here out of the way so that it's not immediately loaded when I go in and out of the pipe, and I do the same thing again, I can collect 1 coin, then I can go in the subworld, and as I said, this coin doesn't really matter, so even if I don't collect it, now if I go back, you can see that there's another coin that spawns out of thin air, and I can repeat this glitch as often as I want. All that it requires is to reload. It even works with doors, so you don't even need a pipe. You could also just put a door right here, and every time the area reloads, this glitchy setup will spawn another coin. So even though I only have 2 coins in this level, I now have collected 4 out of 2 coins. It only works if a coin is inside a swinging claw and the swinging claw is going along a track. And for whatever reason, if this setup is, once the coin got collected, reloaded, it will always spawn another coin. At least if it's like the area is reloaded off screen and then you go back to the area with the setup. Then you can basically spawn infinite coins just from 1 coin. So now this could, for example, allow for pretty evil or also weird stages where you have to collect like all coins, but some of them are definitely in a location where you cannot get them, so you have to go back to this glitchy setup in order to get enough coins over and over again. Now that I've blocked this coin off, there's definitely like no way to get this one, so I have to use this infinite coin generator in order to beat the level. And the second mechanic is something that I saw in Ceave Gaming's latest video. However, the original finder, Comex, also made a video about it, so I will just link both of them in the description down below. And this mechanic is the following. Right here we have 99 one-way gates, so that means that 1 more entity is allowed to spawn from a block, and the second one will refuse to spawn. So now, if I have this 1 block right here, that means that the muncher that is inside it should technically be able to spawn. However, as you can see, it does not spawn. And the reason for that is one of the weirdest properties of red coins, I guess. And that is that while a red coin is collected, it fills up a spot in the entity limit. So if I first collect the red coin and wait until the animation is over and everything, then the muncher can spawn again. However, if the coin collecting animation happens during the time that something else wants to spawn from a block or a pipe or whatever, then this coin collecting animation fills up one extra spot, and since it's already at 99, when I collect the coin it goes to 100, which then stops the muncher from spawning. This might not look like the greatest mechanic at first glance, but actually this allows for a completely new type of level to be built, because by using this mechanic it's actually finally possible to make basically more than 2 checkpoints. And how exactly that works, I will explain it right now, but in a different level, since I already made a level using this concept. So now, how can we use this newly learned mechanic in order to create a level that has more than 2 checkpoints, because still the limit to the actual checkpoint object is still 2, so that means that no matter what trickery we've learned right now, I can still only put 2 of these checkpoint flags in a level. But by cleverly abusing the newly learned red coin mechanic, I can make the same checkpoint have different outcomes every time I get there. So right after I collect the checkpoint, I make sure that before I enter the pipe, the switch is always in the on state. So now I go through the pipe and I immediately collect the red coin. And as you can see, collecting this red coin prevented the muncher in the red pipe from spawning early enough to kill the bomb. If I don't collect this red coin when the area is loaded, then the muncher spawns super early and destroys the bomb, which will then trigger the switch. So because I collect the coin right here the first time, that doesn't happen, which means that as long as I come out of this pipe and the red coin is there to be collected, I will always end up in this area right here. So then basically this area leads to the second section, which can be anything. However, at the end of this second section there is the other real checkpoint, which means that the collection of this red coin is then saved as soon as I beat the second section. So then it's basically the same thing, but in the other world, so in the main world. After the second checkpoint I also end up in a setup like this, where I collect the red coin and then go through one of 2 paths. And after the third section, which comes after that, I end up at the first checkpoint again. However, this time it's already saved that I collected this coin right here. So if I go through the exact same pipe the next time, this coin will be gone, which means that now, even though I started from the same checkpoint and I went through the same pipe, every time I come here, the path right here will open up and not this one, which is the section that I already did. And then this one simply leads to the exact same setup once again, but above the first one. So that means that now each checkpoint has 3 different outcomes. When I first hit this checkpoint, the red coin collection will stop the muncher from spawning and I do the second section. When I then hit this checkpoint again, the coin right here is already collected, so I go this way, but then the second coin is collected and this path opens up. And when I come to the checkpoint the third time, then in both cases the path to the right will open up. So then I can go through this door. And as I said, the exact same setup is built in the main world again with the other checkpoint, which means that I have 2 checkpoints each with 3 different outcomes. So that means I can now make 6 checkpoints that will always work. Of course, since I always have to trigger a real checkpoint in order to save the red coin, it's kind of similar to a red coin level, where I also collect a red coin and then save, collect another red coin and then save. However, what was never possible with just a normal red coin infinite checkpoint level is to make a level where the sections have to be played in a specific order, maybe a story level or whatever, because all the normal infinite checkpoint red coin levels can only be built in such a way that it is not important in what order the sections are played. So in every red coin level you can basically play any section at any time. However, with this design we can force the player to play different sections in a specific order. This could also be good for, like, for example, Kaizo training levels, where each section gets like a little bit harder than the last one. And just to show this all in action, I will now show what happens from the same checkpoint with different outcomes, because it's really a little bit hard to imagine until you actually see it. So now I'm at the first checkpoint the first time, and as you can see I end up in this area down here. And if I die and go back here, I didn't save the first red coin yet, which means that once again this path will open up. So now I'm at the second checkpoint, and I said the setup on this side looks exactly the same. So this right here is the third section, and beating this third section leads back to the first checkpoint, which is technically the same checkpoint. But now, since I already got the first coin, the outcome of this setup right here changes, and it always opens up this path. So once again, even if I die and respawn at a checkpoint, you can now see I'm at the first checkpoint once again. However, the red coin is still collected, so as long as this coin is collected, it will always open up this path right here. And that's the setup. So you basically have the same checkpoint over and over again. However, it always has a different outcome, but the outcome is also consistent. So as long as a red coin is there, it will always be one side, and as long as the red coin is collected, it will always be the other side. So that's it for today, and I hope you enjoyed the video.